Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'll be giving you some clean spring book recommendations. Personally, my favorite month to read in is summer. I love all of the summer book recommendations. They're so easy to find. But for spring, there aren't really many books that are being talked about, so I thought I would share a few of my favorite books that either take place in the spring or just give what I would say is the spring vibe. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to comment down below if you liked it, subscribe, like this video, share it with your friends, all that great stuff. And let's just go ahead and get started with the video. Okay, so the first book that we're going to be talking about, and I wanted to kind of start with this one because it is a little bit different, and that is The Rose Legacy. The reason that this one is a little bit different is because I actually haven't finished it, but I remember that I read it a long time ago when I was younger. For some reason, I just can't remember anything about it, but Jessica Day George was my favorite author when I was younger because she wrote the Tuesdays at the Castle series, or whatever the Castle series name actually is. That was like my favorite series growing up, probably when I was like 10 to 12, maybe even a little bit younger. When I found this book at a used thrift store, I knew I needed to grab it because one, it looked amazing and I remembered reading it, just not anything about it. And two, because the cover is super cute. So far, this book is amazing. The writing is really good and it just seems like an actually unique story. So many times I start books and just be like, there is nothing new under the sun. And then this book I feel like is actually different and exciting, and it draws in a lot of different ideas. It is a fantasy sort of element where there's like kingdoms and things like that, but the whole like kingdom system is unique, and then so is the horses being extinct but not actually extinct sort of idea. It's really fun, and basically we follow Anthea, who has this connection with horses and all the other things going on with that. Secrets kept in her family. She's living in like what is like the land where you're sent to be exiled, but actually is this great land where they're keeping horses alive. So far, it's just a really unique plot and I'm really enjoying it, and it totally gives spring vibes. The vibes are really, really awesome if you like horses or like castle fantasy, and so far I would say this is a good book for all ages. So more books that I love to recommend for spring is The Penderwicks in Spring and The Vanderbeekers to the Rescue. Both of these are in series that are very similar to each other, the Penderwick series and the Vanderbeekers series, basically following the life of two big families, but this family lives in New York City and this family just lives in a like made-up town that's small in Massachusetts. So very different vibes for each of them, and I feel like that's why they're both great to read in the spring. Both of these are part of series, like I said, and each book kind of takes place during a different season. These are the ones for spring. If you aren't aware of the Vanderbeekers or Penderwick series, you really need to go check them out. They are great. I love the Vanderbeekers because of the length of the series. They're a lot longer than the Penderwicks, and I feel like they have really good morals and lessons. And I love the Penderwicks because they are so entertaining, and I just love the characters. They're so unique and creative and very relatable. So I really hope you guys get the chance to read these. And you don't really have to read either of these series in order, but it does help to. So go ahead and start now, and you can basically read these in April because this is the fourth in the series and this is the third. So that's these two. I really love them and they're great for spring. I know I talk about these two particular classics a lot in my channel, Heidi and The Secret Garden, but you don't get better spring vibes than these. These are immaculate. They totally make you feel like it's spring, new beginnings, everything is growing outside. Like this one even talks about a garden, and this one takes place in the Swiss Alps. If you haven't read these two classics, you need to. They are a staple for readers in my opinion, and I love them. In case you for some reason don't know the plot, The Secret Garden is my favorite classic and one of my favorite books of all time. We follow Mary Lennox, an orphan, as she moves into this big house, kind of all alone, and has to find things to entertain herself with, and she ends up spending a lot of time outside, meeting lots of unique characters, and it's just so sweet, wholesome, and very entertaining as well. It's not boring. I feel like there's not a huge plot, so it sounds kind of boring, but I never got bored during this book. Heidi is very similar in the sense that we also follow a girl who is sort of orphaned, and she moves in with her scary grandpa, but he isn't actually scary, spoiler, sorry, and basically, again, about her life outdoors, but in the Swiss Alps. And this one does have a bit more of a plot to it. You'll kind of see when you start reading. And this one not only takes place in the Swiss Alps, but also in Frankfurt, which is really neat, and seeing her life in more of a rich settlement and a poor settlement at the same time. Again, these are not like classics that are for learning purposes. They are very entertaining, but they do have some lessons you can learn from them as well. And I love recommending these on my channel. I wasn't really sure if this book was considered a classic, so I decided to talk about it separately, but this one is also similar to Heidi in the Secret Garden. We follow an orphan and her life, except this one is a lot more entertaining. Our character Anne is absolutely hilarious, and every line that comes out of her mouth is so funny and entertaining. You're like, how do you even come up with that? She has an amazing imagination. She's very, very relatable, and she just says whatever she thinks, and she goes through a lot of fun things in this book, some sad things as well, don't get me wrong, but this is just a very fun book. I read this last spring and I absolutely loved it. This one is just, I could talk about this forever. I love our characters. It's so sweet. I feel like this one differs from classics just in the writing. It does still feel like flowery and a little bit old, but it's very easy to understand. It doesn't read like a classic where there's like huge words you don't know or things are phrased in an old-fashioned way. I read it and I just thought, yes, this is a classic, but it's very easy to understand. That's why I loved it so much, is because I felt like it made me think at the same time as just being really fun, entertaining, and silly. And the movie adaptation was immaculate. They recreated every scene, the one from the 80s. I love that one. Then you have a fun, cute movie to watch after you read this book, and this edition is from Barnes & Noble. I highly recommend it because it's super pretty. And for the younger crowd or people that want a little bit of nostalgia, I recommend Blair and Lainey, two American Girl books that take place in spring and absolutely hit on the vibe of spring. It's perfect, especially Lainey. She loves being outside and nature and grows a garden and does like basically every spring activity you can think of, and Blair is planning like a spring or summer wedding. I don't remember, but this one again is super cool. What I love about the American Girl books is they have books for every kind of girl with every like and dislike and activity, and I feel like that's super neat. Blair goes through her own struggles, as does Lainey. Both are very different, and these books are really great to read in spring. This one has really cool pictures, and this one just gives like more modern vibes, and the atmosphere is really neat. I recommend these, like I said, for any age, but probably for a younger reader, they would appreciate them more. We might be like, okay, this writing is a little basic, but I do still recommend checking these out because I love them. Another series that I love recommending whenever I get the chance is the Secrets of the Manor series. This one is kind of like they live in manors, lord and lady, kind of like Regency, royalty sort of vibes. I think that's super neat. I love these books. They also solve a mystery and they all connect, and you go to different time periods to piece together the whole story. These last two books also take place in France, which I think is really cool because I'm learning French and sometimes I'd recognize the words. I love the 7th book, Camille's story, and the 1st book, Beth's story. Those are my favorite. But like, look how beautiful these covers are. These are some of my most well-loved books. I think I've read Camille's story, the one I just showed you, probably 10 times if I'm being honest, because they're really short, but they don't feel short and they read really well. I would also say they remind me of The Selection at times, just like the whole lady's maid getting ready. They describe the dresses and the activities, but there is still a plot of still trying to solve this whole family mystery, and it is just really neat, and they have cool necklaces that connect on the book and throughout the story. Again, I really love the series. I highly recommend checking it out. This one I'd probably say like 8+, and I really love this one. Okay everyone, so that concludes my spring 2025 book recommendations. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Comment down below if you want to see more recommendation videos, and make sure to leave a like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!